But wait, there's more. Haha. There's a number of news items that have come up recently. A couple things that I've uncovered. That's going to be our juiciest items saved for the end. And I forgot two categories. So this is a follow up to Full Disclosure 35. And it's also a bit of a follow up to the last P list I did about the Georgia Wrestling History Awards. I forgot two of the awards. Why? Long story short, I went by an old list because I figured, oh yeah, I don't need that. Not understanding that there's going to be a new category, which is the feud of the year between wrestlers, and last year's new category, mentor, I did not include as well. So I'm going to cover the two of those. I'm going to talk about them briefly. I'm probably not going to shoehorn them into the list of 1 through 14. No use doing that, but I'll give a little brief analysis. But first, an unboxing. I have to catch up with the unboxings. If you haven't noticed, I've been doing them faster and furiouser because people are sending me so much stuff, and that's awesome. And if you want to send me stuff, please, down below, make it happen, Captain. And people are asking, what if they want to send stuff to my kids? More than welcome to do that. Of course, if you rock child's medium, that's usually pretty safe. Child's medium. For those who want to get them shirts and cool stuff like that. Much appreciated. Awesome. And they'll love it. And you know, all that stuff. But it's really nice that people are even asking. Who's this from? I know not. I know not. But I see what it is. I had a favorite shirt. My favorite geeky shirt of all time. Dude. I know who sent this, and they would probably rather not have me say who they are, for a lot of reasons. Suffice to say that here's the story. So I had a shirt, and it was my favorite geeky crossover shirt, and I loved it, and I wore it all the time, especially when I would go to Universal here in Florida. And that shirt is gone, and I don't know what the hell happened to it. I suspect a female friend or two took it, and I could see why. And yep, that's the shirt. And who this person, bless them, who would certainly have the means in more ways than one, both financially and otherwise, to get me the shirt and have it sent to me. They may have even had it made special. I don't even know if they make this shirt anymore, but it's this. Straight out of Hogwarts with frickin' Hermione, Ron, and Harry. Loved this shirt. And it's gone, and I was lamenting a couple of months ago to this person that I really missed that shirt. I really wasn't fishing to try to get a new one, but they've sent one to me, and it is much appreciated. Maybe now I'll go to Universal again. Yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. But wait, there's more 99. WWE having tryouts. Always a big story, no matter who it is. But the fact that Aja Pereira is one of the people. She's been a guest on Tipping Point. I thought she did the best job with the state of wrestling speeches at the beginning of the year. She certainly made her voice heard, and now she's getting a shot at the WWE at a tryout. That is incredibly good news. Are Georgia wrestling people making their presence felt, right? Aja Pereira, Priscilla Kelly, of course, Logan Creed, any number of other people. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. And I don't mind talking about it. And the more publicity we can get for the Georgia region, the better. And for those who say the drama portions and the bad stuff is not good publicity, you're crazy. Whenever you have a scene with things going on, you're going to have drama. And the more you talk about that stuff, the more people are interested in the region. And the more eyeballs that are looking in your direction in general, the better it is. Ask anybody who went to WrestleCade if North Carolina has more or less drama than Georgia. Mm-hmm. Ask them, and they'll tell you. Things are dramatic all over. It's pro wrestling. Don't know if you missed that fucking memo. All right, let's moving on. Congratulations to Aja Pereira and best of luck. Stranglehold, 45, probably less than that paid. Maybe as high if you're counting everybody and their fucking mouse in their pocket, 60. A once a month show that does less than the show that used to run all the time there. Notable match, Jacob Ashworth is now there. Because right now, outside of APW, it's the shit show tour for our own fair Jacob Ashworth. And they put him over. Give this to APW. At least they understood. You put him under, you put him under, you put him under, and then you turn him heel. They had Jacob Ashworth go over Clyde Braddock, who's probably the best guy at Stranglehold. A lot of potential in Clyde Braddock. And they're having him go under to Jacob Ashworth and Jacob Ashworth's debut, when none of their audience knows who he is. Fuck me. Let's talk about these awards, and then we're going to talk about the juiciest news item. And I'm probably going to go off about that juicy news item. Mentor. How competitive is Mentor going to be? I have no idea. Now, last year, Todd Sexton won. Is that right? Yeah. And this year, who's going to be up for Mentor? Full disclosure, my name's been bandied about. It's nothing that I'm campaigned for. It's certainly nothing that I've low-key behind the scenes I'm bucking for. But I could see why people would nominate me. Now, who should be nominated? QT, I think he's the front runner of all the people who are training. He's doing great shit, and his people that he's been responsible for are getting looks at AEW. And he's doing a great job training, and he's running a great school. And now his connection with AEW is going to lead to contracted AEW people training there as well. Who's mentoring more than that? Now, I think my thing is a completely different thing. And I'm not saying don't vote for me. Fuck, vote for me. Awesome. So I guess as far as competition, who am I missing? There's a number of guys who are doing great stuff. I think you could make a very strong argument that Matt Hankins is mentoring and doing things behind the scene. Todd, of course, continues to mentor, and lots of people talk to Todd, right? So I'd say it's in the middle as far as competitive goes, but the people who are up for it are doing completely different things. So it's another one of these where it's just which way is the wind going to blow on that one. Feud. How the fuck did I forget Feud? I forgot Feud because it's brand new, and like I said, I was looking at an old list. I would put Feud at 3 for most competitive, right behind Technical Wrestler, which again I named those 5 guys who were all great, and Male Performer, 5 guys, all great, could all win. I would put Feud of the Year right behind those 2 things. That's how major I think it is. Whether it's Joe Black and Huck, whether it's Logan Creed and Corey Hollis, whether it's Corey Hollis and Jacob Ashworth, or Jacob Ashworth and Logan Creed, which probably won't get a nod because, again, Jacob Ashworth blew himself fucking up at the end of the year, right? Or you're looking at AC Mack against Alan Angels, who've taken their feud here, there, and everywhere, wrestling out of state and garnering attention there, too. Fucking great. Great shit. All right. News story. So, here's a picture. How exciting. I get to use editing software. I'm noting the time to make it easier on myself when I insert that picture. Now, that picture might have been hard to see because it's a screen capture off of a video. And the video is from make sure I'm saying this right. Pro Wrestling Caribbean show. What's notable? Well, here's a picture where it's easier to see. And by the way, I have all this video available, but I just didn't want to chop it up because it's a long show. But this was the first match on this show for Pro Wrestling Caribbean. Look at this one, and especially pay attention to, it's Chris Nelms, and Rick Michaels has led him to the ring because Rick Michaels is the original Chosen One, and Chris Nelms is being billed as the new Chosen One. But look in the corner, and what letters are there? Because that's the notable part of this picture. Let's show the picture. All right, writing that time down, make it easier on myself. Great. So what's the big deal? Georgia World Class Wrestling. Isn't that great? They've got their stuff on a different television show. And sure, it's all shot from that one fucking hard cam that's way back there. Could you imagine watching that television show? Of course not. It looks like shit. But if you listen to the match and you look at it, right? When you look at that picture, where's that from? Because Georgia World Class Wrestling didn't even exist back when that match took place. So how are they putting their watermark on the fucking thing? Where is that from? Southern Fried. And they say it in the course of the kind of terrible commentary. So Chris Nelms is taking Southern Fried footage. And you may argue, well, he's in the match. He has the right to the footage, which is spurious, is it not? But then to slap Georgia World Class Wrestling on it, pass it off as their product. I'm sure they don't have Southern Fried's permission. I'm sure they don't even have Rick Michaels' permission, because he's certainly there. I don't think Rick would cotton to basically faking the source of this footage and passing it off as Georgia World Class Wrestling stuff. Of course, Georgia World Class Wrestling would want their watermark on it because there's a crowd there, something that they have never really had, right? So for the people who say that I'm too harsh on guys like Chris Nelms and that they're really good guys, what do you call it when you take somebody else's property, pass it off as your own, and then think that you can get away with it? Because if you, through Georgia World Class Wrestling, got footage on somebody else's bigger wrestling show and they were transmitting it, conceivably internationally, wouldn't you be proud and wouldn't you be trumpeting that fact? But I haven't seen them trumpeting that fact. Maybe because it's fucking stolen. And they would just as soon people not find out. But fucktwits, this is the internet. And just like Chris Nelms and others behind the scenes have tried to bury other promotions, so it has come to pass that somebody has given me this footage. And the reason they gave me this footage is to point out a simple fact. Chris Nelms and Georgia World Class Wrestling are thieves. Nothing more, nothing less. And cowardly to boot, because they try to do this, slink off, and have it there without anybody knowing it. Is this that big of a deal? Yeah, it is. What say you now, everybody? What say you now, people who were brought into Georgia World Class Wrestling? How would this sit with you? If somebody, maybe they worked for your promotion. AWE people are there, right? Rick Michaels was there. What if somebody took Wild Side or Anarchy footage, but they worked for them, but then they slap their league in the corner and then pass it off as their footage? Would AWE cotton to somebody taking their footage, even if they worked for AWE before, calling it something else, and then passing it on for somebody else to show? Are we okay with this? Or are we going to pretend that it doesn't matter at all? I'm curious to see. And if somebody wants to offer up some kind of defense, I'm certainly open to listen to it, but come the fuck on. Red motherfucking handed. Chubicus, Liacus, pass off someone else's workicus as your onicus. Fuckicus, uicus. This has been But Wait, There's More.